Calen Morelli, Las Vegas, Nevada. Are you guys ready? I know I sure am. Give the man some love. The one and only Calen Morelli. What's shaking, my friend?
What's up?
Dude, it's good to see you.
Great to see you as well.
This is going to be really, really cool. We've got people start tuning in now all over the world.
Great.
And I know people out there have been wanting to know what the heck you've been up to. You have been behind the scenes doing a lot of crazy stuff. We got a peek of what you've been up to with Method One, which we'll talk to in a little bit.
Cool.
What's up? What have you been up to, man?
Let's see. I have taken, breaks from social media, doing that, just focusing on designing, creating, and, I would say just like life,
Yes.
working on life stuff.
Yep.
Because as we all know, the more control that you have over your emotions and yourself, the better you can connect with people. So
True that. Well said. Well
that's
said.
an important point.
Well said. We got Brad Hart out there saying it's good to see you back on the scene.
Mm,
I
that's good.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. We got a friend out here from Chile. We're on YouTube watching over there. That's cool. Is Calen sitting on the floor or is Luke 7 feet tall? No, we're pretty much the same. He's sitting Indian style. Actually, you're rocking the Zen. The
That's
Zen.
true.
All good. All good. So
Yeah.
if you guys have any questions for Calen along the way, feel free to go ahead and jump in to ask him anything you want to know. We're going to talk a little bit about obviously what he's up to, go into that a little bit more, and your creative process. And a lot of people want to know how you think the way that you do, which I don't even know if you know that some days.
Well, I can speak on that a little bit.
Sure.
The idea of understanding creativity is not necessarily focused on like other people and how they create.
Sure.
The only thing that we have control over is what we input into our brains because we are not the geniuses actually, and our subconscious is what makes the genius idea. So if Luke has a genius idea, it's actually not Luke having the genius, it's the information that he took into his brain, and based on
Smart.
that taste that Luke has, his
Yep.
subconscious is then able to make connections, and how fast those connections are made are based on how much Luke practices and works on that skill. So
Smart.
creativity for me lately is only about being very specific about what types of inspiration I bring into my life and into my brain, because the more outside type of thinking and type of inspiration that I bring in, then it will yield much better results.
It makes sense because it's like everything you've processed, everything you've learned, everything you've studied, it all comes together to make that
Hmm.
light bulb moment. I never thought of it that way. It's actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
really
cool.
interesting to break down how our brains work so that then you can stop taking so many guesses about how to create, and it's just like you can just start kind of like using your brain like a cheat code slightly.
Speaking of using your brain, I just see a familiar friend popping up. See him there. Nice to see you guys. Who's that? Who's that?
Hey, that is Jay Miranda. I have and never will be able to say his name right.
Zhao.
Zhao.
Zhao. Miranda, the one and only.
Yeah.
Or you can cover your mouth and go, Zhao.
Zhao.
I know that you guys have been up to a little something, something, huh?
Yeah, man. We've got a project cooking that is
Cool.
just gonna be nice. It's real nice.
Nice. Uh, Obviously, people are wanting to know about that. We'll maybe get to that later. We'll see. Wall says, uh, liked Calen since Odyssey. Big fan of Odyssey out there,
Mm.
which is cool.
One of my favorite effects.
That is a good one.
That gimmick is a great piece of illusion in in my opinion. I
Yes.
like it a lot.
Mark says, "Hey Luke, hello from the UK. Good effect. Your guest speaker looks like sitting next to you, dude. Calen Morelli is like the man. I got to say that out loud. I've known you for almost 10 years, I guess.
Yeah, man. Since
And
Magic Session, since
yeah,
like
online
early
days.
days, back when I was
Yeah.
like living in a house with a bunch of high school kids, just like making a trick a day. Yeah, that was that was wild.
But the reason I bring that up is because I've been lucky enough to know Calen for a while, but also he's never changed. You know, some people they get notoriety, they get fame, they get money. You know, something changes them. You've had all these successes. You worked with David Copperfield. You've created magic, some best hits in the magic world. You've consulted for David Blaine, and on and on and on.
Mm.
You're still the same dude. You've grown
Uh,
and evolved. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
but you're the same. You're the same dude.
I think it's because the focus of like why I fuck with magic and why I like it is because it's for very clear, just non-selfish reasons. Like
Yep.
I am obsessed with the idea of deception and illusion and how you can play with those things and how you're able to manipulate those things as they enter someone's brain. So
And I'm definitely listening. I'm just making sure I'm spreading the word
yeah,
too. I'm getting this out in some magic
of
groups.
course.
We got it going out to the magic session group. Magic Library just hit this up on the Magicians Around the Globe group, the
Yeah.
Magicians Only group, All Things Magic. Blackpool Magic Conventioners. I'm trying to get Calen to go to Blackpool. I'm doing
Yeah.
my best over here, guys. I'm trying.
All right, I'm gonna look at some of these questions. Let's see. Some
Uh,
guys like you look like you smoke something, man. No, that is just being extremely present. Method one looks to be a great utility that's out in the open. Correct. Um,
oh, that's nice. Got a guy here from the Ukraine. That's cool.
hey, Ukraine, what's
Nice,
good?
dude. Nice. So yeah, if you guys have questions, please post them. We don't want to just chat to you. We want to chat with you. So if you do have some stuff that you want to know about, and actually, before we go too much further, I want to let you know we are doing some giveaways today for you guys as well. And it's actually going to let us tell a funny story about this too. Here at the table lecture,
Yeah.
that people aren't aware of until now. We've got these up for grabs today. This is Calen's at the table lecture that he did back in 2016.
Ooh.
There you are, looking all Calen Morelli like. Yes, yes, yes.
Sunglasses, hat,
Yeah.
and a hoodie for me. Yeah.
So we're going to give you guys a chance to win a Calen Morelli at the table lecture. All you guys need to do is over on Facebook, tell us what one of your favorite Calen Morelli releases is and why. Or if you're a fan of Calen, tell us why you're a fan of Calen. Either one. If you like one of his tricks, that's great. If you just like Calen, tell us why. We'll look through the comments throughout the show. We'll hook someone up. You want to change it up for YouTube, or do you want to do the same thing for YouTube?
For YouTube, let's change it up and let's
Okay.
do something. Let's have people respond with ways that they focus on connecting with people and ways that they have found that can help them connect with audiences as they perform. Because
Actually, let's do that on both.
okay,
That's
yeah,
better.
I mean, the idea of how to connect with an audience is such a fascinating thing because to each person they can figure out how to input their own personality, and that's a real artful thing when people can do that well.
So, based on this question, actually, this is going to be what you guys need to do. Vince is saying, just want to ask, how do you create an interest for your audience? So that's what you need to do, guys. How do you create a connection with your audience?
May I talk on that for a second?
Go for it, my friend. Go for it. Yeah.
Connections with audiences is interesting because I would say that I don't feel that I've understood what the purpose of performing magic was until about maybe 4 months ago because
Wow.
I realized that I was always looking for something from my audience. I was looking for a reaction, for content for a video,
Yeah.
but what I can get out of a interaction with a human is not actually. I mean, it took me a long time to realize, but that's not what the point is. Like, I believe that, like me personally, the point of connecting with someone is to hold someone in this surreal state of magic for as long as possible during your performance.
Yep.
And to do that, you have to be extremely present and aware of where they're at, where they need to go, and how to like keep people in that moment. And to me lately, I've been focusing on a very present state of performing so that I can hold people in that moment for as long as possible. Because if that surreal moment's broken with a bad time joke or something that doesn't make sense with everything else, then it brings them out of it. and then they're it's very hard to get back into that moment or that
Sure.
state of astonishment once someone's pulled out. So holding people in that astonishment or that surreal state is an art, and that's what the greatest performers do, I believe. So
True.
ways to do that is it's fascinating.
As you can tell, Calen doesn't just look at a trick as a trick. He doesn't just look at magic as something that you do. It's something you experience. It's so deep, and I've been fortunate to have had some chats with Calen over the years, and every time it's very eye opening with the way that he looks at things and thinks about them, and even the way that he was talking about his creativity earlier. I never would have thought of. I mean, it makes sense. It's the culmination of everything you've processed and learned. That
Got to give a
yeah.
shout out to Brian Proctor. That guy was one of the day one friends in
Oh,
Portland
Portland, yeah, yeah, yeah.
when I was going to when I was traveling like straight up from my parents' like farm, like 3 hours to go to the just like the Portland Magic meetings. Like
There he is.
that dude was always the homie.
Nice, good
So
to see him here. Yeah,
shout out Brian,
awesome, man.
very talented magician as well.
Look what Zhao says here. This is a nice thing. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. I'll bring that up on the screen too. But you've got the ability that very few artists have, which is when performing, just saying what is really needed in order to get the best possible climax from an effect. Yeah, it doesn't just happen overnight.
No, man.
Yeah.
But something I've noticed lately is as I'm on my journey to, I feel like connecting more as a performer, I've understood that like knowing what's needed to be said, like Zhao is saying, I believe that that comes from like truly putting yourself at the same level as your spectator, not at the God level of
Yeah.
I'm better or you have anything more to offer, except for the fact that you're trying to share something with this person to give them a moment that they can take on their own journey in life. And that's like a gift. And if you treat it as I'm going to try and give this person a gift, as
Mhm.
opposed to I'm going to try and take what I need for social media, for filming,
Wow.
then it becomes a much different type of experience. And me personally, I've felt so different with the interactions since I've started to try to shift my mindset. And that type of mindset is really fascinating because it allows for a connection that, for at least me, what I'm noticing, that is much deeper than just sharing the trick.
That's and someone is actually saying um, how they do this too.
Mm.
Uh, how to connect as I perform. Keep it honest. I always say magic's not real. I don't know about that. I don't have real powers, but if it was, I think it should look like this. Keep it honest. Honest is the key. What do you think about that? Like owning up that it's not magic. Do you think that's a good idea? Not to say he's wrong, but
So yes, it is not real. So as magicians, we can agree on one thing, that magicians do not have supernatural powers.
mm-hmm.
Spectators can agree on that too.
Yeah.
So I believe the magician's job is to reveal what the natural reality of the world is to their audience.
Mm-hmm.
And that means understanding basic laws about physics, about how the world works, about how light works. Because then you're talking about things that are absolutes. You're talking about things that are science. You're not talking about things that are uh, play, pretend, make believe things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that talking about real things and real phenomenon and things like that uh, are an interesting thing that people connect with. And then you don't have to worry about whether or not you're lying about things because you're just talking about real shit. And that's like,
Mm-hmm.
that's very different than a lot of presentations, I feel, because the communication and the message that you're trying to get across to someone um, has to connect in a way that's not so I don't know, like I feel that I get so tired of my own self coming up with tricks that are just one level based on method or based on things that are only like, say, a color changing card. A really good method for a color changing card could be made into a masterpiece with one moment, with the correct like the correct understanding of what message you're trying to communicate, I guess.
Sure.
So yeah, I just think that there's a way to connect with very simple things, and I think that's a very fun like challenge for magicians to do, to be like, what if I took the simplest visual and how do I connect with someone on such a deep level that a single color changing card could like shatter their reality, and how could I set up that climax? So those are the kind of questions I ask myself, because a lot of times things that I come up with might be taken as oh, I wish I thought of that, or how come I didn't think of that.
Yep.
But I think what people don't maybe realize is that I start at the most complex methods and patterns and plots, and I at that point keep my awareness of where culture is, what they're able to understand, what they think about magicians. All these things come into this like view on awareness, and then I simplify until I believe that it can actually has a chance of connecting with someone, because complexity and confusion obviously is not connection or very good art, you know? So
blurring everything, really. Yeah.
So it just becomes how, like, you know, how do you connect?
Someone else had a comment about this too. I had it up on the screen. I'll bring it back up. Came in from YouTube. I like this. He says, when he tries to connect at a base level, I try to first socialize, then empathize. I try to view the effect from the spectator's eyes and immerse them in a way that I would buy into it if I were them. And that's a good idea. You know, see it through their eyes. You know,
that's cool. A great idea.
Yeah,
that's a very effective way to connect.
I think he wins. Actually, I think you're our YouTube winner already.
Yeah, I'll say that's a winner.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say that out loud.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree with that a lot, because I find myself doing very similar things, and with methods as well. It's very important to say, would this fool me? Would I buy into this? Yeah. And be very honest with yourself, because at that point, if you're hesitant on it, you probably should continue working on that.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a very good way.
Still looking for some Facebook friends too. Don't forget the contest. We are doing a giveaway for the At the Table lecture.
Read some of these. Let's see.
So if you want to win this, all you need to do is tell us how you connect with your audience. Also, stay tuned. Coming up, we're going to also tell you over the next week how you can enter to win a free copy of Method 1, the brand new release from this guy right here. I'm talking all about. There we are. I'm talking all about Method 1, the brand new effect. This looks so nice. You got the phone. I know a lot of people have been talking about this with the light with the phone. Obviously, what happens? You get the blister on your finger there. And Jeff Gilson, there you go. You just disappeared. So that is, and then now Timo is liking the stream. All right, thank you, sir. So that is what you'll have a chance to win in just a little bit. But right now, we are going to get back to Calen, and we'll chat more about what we're doing here. So much good stuff coming in, by the way. There's a lot of really smart people out there. I like this.
What are they talking?
Glad I tuned in. Topics so far are relatable in all facets of life, not just magic. That's true. That's very great. Actually, why don't you, real quick, since I just talked about the At the Table again, do you mind telling that story real quick?
Yeah, so that was an interesting thing, because Chris Oberly and myself, right before we filmed, we were like, oh, it would be very funny if we did like an Andy Kaufman like stunt. And I play my most intense David Blaine character and play very dumb. And then he acts like he's kind of annoyed, and we just go into it. So we did this the entire lecture, and people on the cafe afterwards were like, yo, what is up with this guy? And I was so confused, because they cut out the part of the lecture that was us like letting people know it was like a self-aware joke. So then it became this very odd thing, but I kind of liked it, because people were just so upset by it. But I was just like,
oops.
Oh, well. But yeah, that was a very funny thing for me, because I was like, wow. Yeah. But that's my life, being constantly questioned or misunderstood. So I'm okay with it all.
So if you guys I've seen it online, people talking about, Calen's character, and it was all an act. We just forgot to tell you guys it was an act on the lecture. So there you go. Yeah.
Hey, it's fun. It's good to mess with people's expectations
Look at
and
this. Look at
yeah.
this. Tyler's saying that was all an act. Thank goodness. I thought you were doing the lecture intoxicated. Hey, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. But
I actually, I mean, as long as you're able to, yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna speak on that. Okay, never mind. Hey, Calen, Daryl Vanderberg here.
Oh,
Hello,
Daryl.
Luke.
Very nice. Cool. Really, I'm just a normal guy that could do a few normal things. May I show you? That's cool. And Daryl's great too. Wow, I haven't heard
Great
this
guy.
in
Yeah,
a hot minute. Yeah, very cool.
I got to meet him a while back. He has some amazing ideas.
Miguel.
Do you follow David Blaine's style talking as well? It is effective. I do not follow any specific type of talking. I actually talk how I talk normally. So
It's true. It's
Um,
true.
same with David Blaine. I believe that there are just certain types of people that talk different, just like people talk really fast and they talk with inflections. Some people don't, and I think it's just interesting that people have so many opinions on how people talk when maybe what should be focused on is more what they're saying. You know,
Truth. So much truth in that. Yeah. I want to do something else real quick before we jump into more questions. I've got a
yeah.
new thing I want to show you guys, and it goes into something else that we're doing. I've got a poll running right now, and I want to get you guys involved in it. So I've got this new feature, and I thought, you know what, with the new show, the new year, I've got one of my favorite friends here with me. Let's just debut a brand new feature. So, my friends, here comes the meme of the week. Yes, it is time for the meme of the week. You like that?
You've outdone yourself, Luke.
Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. So there's a reason for this madness today. I'm going to show you the meme. This is one I actually created and put it up on the Murphy's Instagram not too long ago, and people were loving it. So I figured I'd share it here too. And it goes like this: there's this meme floating around with the chick. I think she's from one of the Real Housewives shows.
Not sure,
and
okay.
the cat.
Okay.
And the cat. This one's been floating around.
Yeah.
So I had the thing where you can see the playing cards are above here, and she's saying playing cards, and the cat's like, "Nah, check it. They're called deck of cards." So that is the meme of the week. There you go.
Meme of the week.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
There we go.
So my question for you is, what do you call them? Playing cards or deck of cards? What do you do? Or you don't care?
A deck of cards.
Deck of cards. Okay.
A playing card. Both. Oh no.
Depends on the day, maybe.
I alternate like a quantum qubit.
Well, let's jump over to our Instagram. I have a poll running, which is why I wanted to get this in real quick. I'm going to refresh the page real quick. If you want to check us out and join in, it is twitter.com/Murphy'sMagic or just at Murphy's Magic over there. And, oh, who's that sexy guy? Who's that? Right below that is me and you. I'm actually going to officially pin the poll up. So let me go ahead and pin it to the top of our Twitter feed real quick.
Word.
So the poll is asking, what do you guys say? Do you call them a deck of cards or do you call them playing cards? And so far, we've got 62% of the guys out there say deck of cards and only 37.8 people are saying playing cards. So if you guys want to jump in and get your votes in, we'll keep an eye on it during the rest of the show, and we will see what the results are towards the end there. So, all right, jump in there on the Murphy's Magic Twitter. Sweet. All right, good stuff.
This guy is asking, I wanted to know your thoughts on the current state of stage magic and grand illusions. He's like, I know you primarily release street magic close up, but he wants to know thoughts on that. It's interesting because I don't actually differentiate stage magic or close up magic, because all illusions, if they're an absolute illusion, they can be worked and applied to either form. So I kind of have this overarching thought process of just illusions and how psychology works, and that can be applied to person size effects or effects with coins. And I think it's about understanding those and really discovering how deeply you can shift and alter them in your creative process. because I think it's all the same, to be honest. The only thing with obviously close-up magic is the technical skill that it takes for dexterity to
Sure.
to accomplish some moves, but
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily make it a close-up trick.
Mm-hmm. Well said. There was here's a question about one of your probably your breakout hit, I would say.
Mm.
Vince is saying, Kim, do you have any changes on dress code? Or the question is, do you still perform it? So are you still rocking some dress code every now and then?
Um, I would. I don't at current state of time, but
Okay.
I would do it. I think that like things are very situational.
Mm-hmm.
So like if the situation arose, yes, I would definitely rock it, and I have, but it's not something that I prefer to rock. But everything comes in waves, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll just start running it for like the next 5 years. Who knows?
Oh, here's something brand new that I don't know if everyone's had a chance to see it. Why don't you rock that question for us?
Which one?
The one from RK there, the one about the Volume 1 video that just dropped. The
Oh,
third one.
oh,
Yeah.
he's like loved Phantasmagoria Volume One. Can't wait for your release. Oh, word. Phantasmagoria. That was a very special video, and if you have not seen it, you can uh, what put it on their web on their YouTube channel, so you can go check that out. But yeah, it's a cool project.
Cool
I
video, yeah.
what a interesting perspective on magic, I would say.
So if you guys are watching this now, I want to know, you can see the name right below there. Type that into, that'll pop it up too on YouTube,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You can type that in, Phantasmagoria, and you'll find it. And it's you and a bunch of magicians just hanging out and doing some cool stuff. So yeah, it's cool. Hopefully we see more of those. Do you know if there's gonna be more?
I do not. But
Right.
what a cool project if there is, yeah.
It looked like it was a lot of work, a lot of time.
I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, it
Yeah.
looked like it. Yeah. Here's a good question, Renato. Good question from Renato. Calen, what is the most important trick that you've been created, or what's your the most important one that you've created? That's a tough one, dude.
Hmm.
If there is one.
I don't think that there's a most mm, well, that's constantly changing, but I would
Sure.
say one of the most important things that I've found as far as a perspective on how to present illusions and how to do stuff would in the last month I've been diving into a very specific perspective on what magic is and what the moments are for people. So I would say that some more of the recent unreleased stuff is my best. I would say so far in my
Okay.
life.
How about since you're talking about the unreleased stuff, why don't we talk real quick about what just became available?
Yeah.
And again, guys, if you haven't had a chance to see it, we've got the trailer queued up too. If you want to go ahead and I can play that. We can talk over it. You want to do that?
I mean, for people that haven't seen it, is it okay to play the music, or is that okay, or would you rather talk over it?
If you want to just play the trailer straight up, I can do that too. You want to do that?
Okay, let's do this. We'll talk over it, but if you haven't seen the trailer, watch it through with the music and everything, because
If you want to do it that way, we can.
No, let's talk over it. Let's
Okay.
talk over it.
All right. All right, cool. So here comes method
Yeah.
one, and that is the two of us right there. So going over a little history there.
Giving a little credit right there.
Yep.
Out in the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
Such a smart idea, man. Using the
light. The phone light. It's interesting. A lot of people have opinions on whether they like it, but I have never performing this had anything other than very positive reactions, because you're mixing in a borrowed object with your object and giving them a very odd thing that they could do, but they really believe it has something to do with the phone, because of at this point you can see that the gimmick is in their hands, which is a very bold move for psychology to really play against it. And a lot of people are wondering about a full performance, but this is the performance right there. I am currently getting, and it's done. That is the
And
Like,
she's now holding it again.
and she's now like, it is so efficient and so out in the open. I really kind of believe that it might even take a couple years for people to understand how important of a method this is.
She's
But
holding the damn thing. That's great.
yeah,
Look at this.
and it's so interesting that everything in this performance was planned out so carefully. Oh, and this shot, this is what is reality? I don't even know anymore.
Love it.
Get in, get out. Let's go. Um, yeah, what game is he playing on the VR set though right now? That's the question.
That is, I want to know. I was actually wondering about that.
So an interesting thing about this performance that that I learned about myself and about performing while I was filming that trailer is that uh, I do two things that are very important with this trick. Is that one, I say the word blister and burn early on in the trick and then never mention it again, so that I anchor it into their subconscious that that's what it could be.
Yep.
But I never at the end tell them. So they're just like a good movie, putting 1 + 1 = 2. And then at the very end, I never say, look, this is your card. I say half sentences, which are really great ploys to get people to connect it. So I'm starting sentences and saying them halfway on purpose and then letting them connect it. So I'm like, it almost looks, I wait, your thought, like I say things that are like on purpose, so direct,
So good.
so that they're able, I'm like, I can't even see that. Does that look like anything? Like letting them finish a sentence in their mind for that trick is so important, because if I said, look, it's the 2 of spades, they would say yes, and zero tension release. So
Yeah.
it's a really fascinating thing. Like all those very, very small.
That's smart. It's like letting them explore the moment. You're taking them down the path and you're letting them actually explore it and look around and see it and feel it. Man, that's deep. That is deep. Because you're right. Most people are gonna get the trick, name a card, do the thing, and go, oh, look, and that's gonna be it. And they miss the whole point.
Because also the more unsure that you are if it looks like something, I get the spectator to convince me that it looks like their thought.
No, really, look, that's what
I say, I'm are
That's
you
great.
sure?
It's great.
So then it's almost like, if I'll trust you, that's like that kind of psychology can be used in many dark ways in real life, but in this context, it's harmless.
Method 1 is fire. We got Tyler Lunsford giving it some love. Oh yes, oh yes. Oh, this is a good one, and it comes from another Tyler. I like this a lot because I'm a big fan of Paul Harris as well. He says your style of creating effects reminds him a lot of Paul Harris. Is there any particular creators you look up to or are inspired by?
Of course, Paul Harris and Daniel Garcia are huge ones, because they influenced my thinking and my style of stuff very, very heavily.
Right on.
Yeah.
One below this from Jason Knowles. I used to love your IG feed. It was really inspirational for me. Do you plan on going back to the platform? Obviously, talking about Instagram. Any plans on coming back?
I believe privacy is very important, and I also believe that social media for me, I probably won't jump back on unless it's for a very specific message to communicate, and I don't have that at this point.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and Matthew gets it too. He's saying, I think anytime you can use a spectator's personal object, it makes it more magical for them.
The other thing that's very important with this that is overlooked with this presentation, which I'm a huge fan of this presentation. I actually believe this is the way to present it, because I believe using fire is subpar, because I'm playing into their imagination more than just a visceral thing, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm losing track of my thought process. What did he say again? Where is this?
He was just talking about how anytime you can borrow an object and do something, it makes it stronger, more magical for the people.
The important part is knowing that if you need, say, 5 seconds of misdirection, that you will have that every time. And we all know that 95% of people always have their phone on them, ready to go. Yeah. And if you ask for matches, a lighter, any type of thing that creates fire, a candle, that is situational, and you will not ever know for sure that you will have that misdirection moment. So I know at baseline, I can ask for them to pull out their phone, turn on their flashlight on their phone, and I will have minimum 5 to 7 seconds. And I can very comfortably get any imprint at that point. And that is very, very effective for your confidence as performing. And it just puts me at ease. So, yeah,
something else I want to jump in on because the trailer kind of highlighted the playing card. You could do this with numbers too. I did want to say that.
Yeah, there is 2-digit numbers on it. And yeah, I just decided to throw that on there, but throughout just conversations with smart magicians. But yeah, it's I personally, the number thing is nice because if you're running like a stack like Tamaris or something, that's pretty basic, it just becomes like interesting to have them name a card, and then you imprint the corresponding number, so you get this very weird like open cool. Select a card, and they're like Jack of Hearts. I imprint 20, and then I do the same thing where I say, I don't feel any pain, but do these is there like a pattern that you see? Smart. And they're like, oh yeah, smart. Maybe a 2 and a O or 2-0 count. You get to play like this like as it's unfolding in front of you type of performance, which is fun.
I like this idea too. Tyler Scott's saying that also a great way to do an age reveal.
Of course.
That's good. That's good stuff too. Yeah, love it. Here's a good question from Max. See a lot of Blaine influence in how you perform. Who inspires your performing style, if there is anybody?
Yeah, of course, we're all inspired by people that we see early on, and
sure,
I believe I'm into more performance art and realism for performances. So that means that for me, Blaine, that guy checks all the boxes. So sure. Yeah, I think it just makes sense that for my interest, that's what I like.
Can we jump to this? I don't know how much you can say, but it is worth noting because you work for the biggest name in magic, David Copperfield. Can you talk about your work and why working for him and how it happened? So even if you can't give details, can you talk about how it happened that you got the gig? Because a lot of people do want to do consulting and stuff like that. So
yeah, that was a very happenstance situation. It was just Blake Voigt and I had hung out with Chris Kenner. We were at MagicCon, and after getting to know Chris Kenner a bit, Blake got a call from Chris Kenner, and I was right next to him, and it was pretty much like, hey Blake, do you want to come out and have an interview with Copperfield? And he's like, hey, what about that other kid Calen as well? And he's like, yeah, he's standing right next to me. So we're like, all right, let's get on a flight and let's go to Vegas. So then less than a day later, we went up to his loft. We had a meeting.
Damn.
I showed him a bunch of videos, from my 365 days of magic as like a resume. Mm-hmm. And dude was just like, okay, he's weird and does a lot of shit every day. And then Blake ran like regeneration on him, mm-hmm. and like fried him. Like I remember Copperfield being like, wow, that feels really nice. like he was just like, that felt good. And I was like, damn, yeah, it's a great trick. Like, yeah. Amazing. We just from that point just worked, and it was such a good experience on work ethic and what it actually takes to mm-hmm. It broke all the illusions of what it takes to be a star and make stuff happen at that level, because without seeing it from behind the scenes, it's very hard to understand the amount of work that goes into that.
I had a chat a couple weeks ago with Peter Eggink, a good friend of mine from cool. The other side of the world there, and he and I were talking about he's in Holland, that's right, about being a magic consultant and stuff like that. And
no, you can keep talking. I'm just teasing. Method 1 packaging. Just rip it open and you get your new trick. They even smell good. Wow.
Being a magic consultant is kind of where I was going with that. A lot of people think it's this glamorous, fun thing, and Peter and I got into it pretty deep. But if people are interested in doing that type of work, do you have any general advice that you could share? It doesn't have to be too much, but just some general advice, because I know what's out there. People want to know this type of stuff.
Um, I would say, uh, honestly, I actually I don't, because everything for me was just kind of happenstance, and I think I would still be creating if I
Mhm.
didn't do it. So
I think that kind of says a lot, though. It shows the point that if you're good at what you do, you'll get noticed. Even if you're not trying to get noticed, you will get noticed,
if
right?
if you're putting out content and you're like focused on creating things that are continuously better than what you last created yourself, not about like what other people are creating, but if you can consistently create something better every other day or every like day, then you're gonna get somewhere and
Yeah.
you're gonna get closer to your goal. So
Yeah.
the creative lifestyle and the creative like living is what you have to embody if that's like what you want, because to stay at the level with the other people that are in the game, you have to like live, breathe, eat it, and just like really focus on the things that keep you excited about it every day, you know, because it's a marathon.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. Brian Proctor was asking about pulling away from YouTube. Um,
That's a deep one.
why did you do it? And he obviously says just a lot going on all the time, or it's a conscious decision, or
Oh yeah, I'll be real on that. So yeah, I deleted nearly like 400,000 subscribers and over 60 million views on YouTube to focus on my mental health because of how intense it is as a creator and also a consultant, the mental tax that it takes every day, and also the amount of just like comments and everything at that point in my life.
mm-hmm.
It was more toxic than positive. So I just decided that, one, I felt like there was another aspect to performing and creating that I could feel, but I couldn't find if I was consistently doing the same things that I was doing at the time. So I decided that I was going to stop, re-examine what I want to do with my career, how I create, how I perform, and how I'm living my life, and handling, you know, just the normal things that everyone goes through.
Sure, man. Yeah.
And for me, it was a correct decision because I feel that the mindset that I have now is a very strong and powerful mindset, and I'm really thankful for that, and I would not trade it for a million subscribers on YouTube
Well
at
said.
all.
Yeah. Tyler made a good point. He says your mental health is worth all this compared to everyone else. Yeah, I mean, you have to come first. Obviously, you got to take care of yourself. So, yeah, it's a weird world out there. That's why I was showing, Calen, this a social illusion. Little sweatshirt action here. Like, I mean, a lot of that stuff is just an illusion anyway, and you have to live in your own world before you can start pretending to live out in the other world, the online world, the online space. So,
I don't have anything against social media as far as like I don't, there's
sure.
no judgment, but I would honestly ask people if why they're on social media and why they're pumping out content, are they actually being authentic and expressing themselves, or are they trying to be like
Yeah.
their 5 or 10 friends that they're consistently pushing and trying to compete with? Because like the goal is like self-expression, I believe, and that's what I kind of believe
Should be.
is the thing that will set people apart way more, for people just to be comfortable with like who they are, what they like, and how, what their perspective is on the world, you know.
It's true. I think people get lost out there. I honestly believe they get lost in the mix. They do it for one reason, but in order to keep it up and be consistent, they have to shift what they do and who they are to keep up.
Yeah,
It's I mean, because without consistency out there, it's hard to survive from what I understand. I don't do it myself. What little I do with Murphy's, but I see other people that have jumped into that world, that space, and they do it. They start out one way and they end up. It's like the game of telephone.
Yeah.
You know, you start telling one thing, and at the end of it, it
I
looks
think
totally
I
different.
think that's what I kind of felt like with YouTube, because I was after these goals of just getting views and getting like
Yeah.
you know getting name awareness, and just I don't regret any of the content that I made,
Hmm.
but I want to learn how to create magic at a very high level and create content that's at a very high level that can connect with people on like human levels, that are not just like people looking at it as, oh, that's a cute trick, that's fun. No, like I my goal is to create content that competes with content that is at the top of other industries. Like you're saying, like album of the year, I want to create content in the magic realm
Hmm.
that can make someone feel similar emotions when they hear this piece of art in music. And what's cool about that is magic is so separate from music, from other sports, from other art forms, and focusing on how magic is different is so cool. And not trying to be a musician, not trying to be like these other people in these other art forms. It's so important to just like dive in and be like proud to be a magician, and be proud that we can focus on coming up with things that are revolving around deception and illusion to
Hmm.
reveal the true state of things.
Yeah. I remember when you hit TMZ. It was TMZ you did, right? Because of
Yeah.
the cop video you did. Yeah. I mean, you were blowing up. We were actually hanging out one time, and people were like, they knew who you were. Like it was it was pretty surreal. Like you were like the guy. It was crazy. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was.
some of those times still felt fake, and like even yeah,
Yeah.
it's always that's yeah, it's always a bit weird because uh if someone does recognize me that I've never met before, I'm always surprised. Like that's never been normal to me in any fashion, and still like even just in the magic community, it's
Yeah.
very odd to me.
Um, this was a good thing that I saw. This is a great one. Blackheart's Magic Theater. Calen, what do you believe is the most important in terms of keeping magic alive in the hearts of kids today? So let's back up to the youth, which is the next generation. Those are the ones we're gonna pass the torch on to. You know, what are they?
Mm.
What can we do to help them, or what are we currently doing to help them? Because you know you're
Yeah.
an idol to a lot of these young people. Obviously, I mean it's true, man. Like I'm not blowing smoke. You know it's true. They look up to you.
I believe the way to do it is to um, create a wave of more mindful and present magicians, so that the world can start looking at magicians as a source of like wisdom, and people that are aware, and people that can shed light on cool interesting things about reality and about how the world works and how humans perceive the reality. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that that is like really cool, that that's a possibility that magicians could add to culture. And I think as long as we move forward and we inspire people to to just, I guess, do more conscious things that are not as low hanging of fruit, just like easy grabs,
Sure.
then I don't think that there's anything that's going to be a problem with generations of magic, or
Sure.
I get down with it all.
Sweet. Any quick question? Any plans to go on Fullest or AGT ever? That's a quick yes or no, I guess, or maybe not.
Um, I don't think. Let's see, Fool Us or AGT. I no, I don't have any plans, but my plans could change tomorrow. So who knows?
True.
I
I
I live in the moment of what I feel is necessary, and right now I don't feel it's necessary to do either.
like the last comment there. That's true for a lot of people, actually.
Ooh, 365 days of magic.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Inspired a lot of people, dude. And I still don't know how you. How far did you get along on that? Because you didn't make it the whole year, did you?
Honestly, I don't quite remember.
Yeah.
It was about close to 200 days,
I knew
something like that.
it was far. Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That is absolutely nuts. Do you have any way to see that content, or do you have it backlogged? Do you have the content saved? Like, do you even?
It's actually gone.
God, are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah.
Holy crap, man!
That was probably
Wow.
the only slight regret I had about deleting YouTube is I to get rid of the YouTube channel and my socials. I needed to just get rid of it
Wow.
because I was gonna overthink it. But I, in hindsight, I would have liked to have it on like a hard drive. But
No.
honestly, uh, it's all.
No.
It's all
Videos
right.
aside, though, did you have like a notebook or something to keep track of the tricks, or you don't even have them anymore?
I just don't have them.
Wow, dude.
But you know what's interesting about that
Wow.
is letting go of things and detaching yourself from ideas and tricks. Freed up my mind to create much higher level things, and
That's fair.
the more that I hold on to ideas and try to remember things, and oh, I like that a method, then I just I find that holds back my creativity. So I'm just about, I look at that as like college. I'm like, I put in a community college like degree in
Yeah.
putting in work, in that time frame.
No, I mean, it makes sense. That's just a shame because there were some real gems in there. There's a lot of good stuff.
Thank
Honestly.
you.
Yeah. I still remember the first time I saw you online in the old chat room that we had, and you were doing the rubber
Magic
band
session.
thing, and it was.
I remember that there was very few
so good.
Coming from Oregon, living like not around really magicians and just like doing random gigs when I was like 18, 19, the magic session was so important to me, and getting that like appreciation and that confidence boost that maybe these ideas, that I'm spending all this time on are worth something. Like I still remember where I was at when I showed you the floating rubber band thing.
It's so good.
And
it's so good.
I was in that same house when I created Transit, and I remember that moment very vividly about how. And what's so interesting with that Transit trick with the rubber bands is that was the first day that I started to examine objects that are different states of material. So like soft and hard, or like hollow and solid, but have the same appearance to the world. So then I was just like doing a case study on how similar things could be, and then I came down to the paperclip and rubber band, and it was just such a simple, elegant solution. Hey, Casey Rudd. Honestly,
he was
I think Casey Rudd was one of the people that just like pushed me to start the 365 days of magic, because I remember him being like, yo, Calen, you create like shit every day, you should just do that. And I was like, yo, I could. And then I just like worked out the clever marketing, if you will.
Don't mind me. I'm just looking on your Function 9 DVD here. It is on here. The rubber band trick is suspended, is what that one's called. Yeah, that is on there. Yeah, some of the early stuff. Pin and Bottle, another classic.
Pin and Bottle is such.
It's good.
A wild man. That is like the second trick I ever created.
Really?
Like straight up, when I just decided that I was like, I'm gonna try to create an illusion. That was like round 2 or 3 of like trying to do stuff.
Didn't you put that in Magic Magazine or something first, or was it Genie or Magic or something?
Yeah, and then I came up with some more handling type things. Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna go back in time. We're gonna do this right now.
Oh my god.
We're gonna show you the original Momo.
You know what's crazy though? Like there was a trick where you put rubber bands, or no, you have rubber bands on your wrist and you just touch a ring to it, and then you can show the rubber bands singular.
I remember that too.
I came up with that the first night of filming, and then I showed Mandy while I was eating oatmeal the next morning, and she was like, honestly, that's pretty good. We should throw that on the DVD. And I was like, word, let's run it.
So I'm now officially the teeny Calen Morelli. How old were you there? Like 19, 20?
I was like 18.
18.
Yeah.
Wow. There you are, man. Where it all started, F9. That when you dropped that, that's when you made your first big splash, and then everything just was it was like a snowball effect.
There's a lot of weird thinking on that.
Yeah.
It's cool. I really enjoyed that project. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of it's a variety of material, which is what I like. It's not just like all card tricks. It's like so much cool stuff. Any other questions you're seeing here? I want to make sure that.
Yeah. Let's see. What was your feeling when your first trick was released?
Sorry,
I was very, very excited, and that was the goal, to release content. And Theory 11 at the time was so hype, and they're still very cool. But when they just started, it was like, man, I was just so obsessed with their brand, and I thought they were the coolest. So I was like, it was a dream come true. Hashtag dream come true.
Just making those a little bit bigger so you can see them over here.
Yeah,
there you go.
Let's start at the top. Yeah. Can I have a list of Calen's tricks? I don't even know my list of tricks. Okay, let's see. Jason Knowles is, I have to say your perspective is both fascinating and refreshing in equal measure. Thank you for everything. You're welcome, man. Yeah.
People were asking earlier, by the way. I know we were kidding around about Blackpool, maybe. Are there any conventions that you may pop up at this year? Because it's a brand new year here. Any?
I mean, I'm trying to go to Blackpool maybe if I had a reason to, but I don't prefer to just go to conventions just to go.
Yeah,
but
I get it.
But it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, you usually pop up at Magic Live, so
yeah,
you don't like
nice.
you don't like go the whole time, but you pop up and hang out.
Yeah, I guess I think some people grew up going to Magic conventions, like maybe like their dad or someone would take them.
Yeah.
Like I just never had that, and I never went to Magic, so I've never really understood the whole Magic convention thing. But I love seeing friends and people I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, that's what it's really all about at the end of the day is the friendships, that we get from doing this stuff. That's what we carry with us. I was looking through to see if I could.
Oh wait, go up. I think. Wait, did they say up a little bit more? There's something. Maybe not. No.
And keep going up, man. There's a ton of questions. If you guys have any more, you can drop them. We've got about another 10 minutes with Calen, I'd say, if that.
Word.
Yeah, we got through all those for sure.
Bird.
Let me go back down to the bottom. Let's see.
So I'm going to talk about some interesting things that I think everyone could use for thoughts on Magic.
Okay.
Because I was kind of talking earlier about how things revealing the natural reality of the world that we live in is a easy way to connect because it's all about like things that everyone goes through,
Sure.
So what's cool about like this thinking about reality is that everything that we view in reality is a hallucination, right? This is proven because you're like this does not have blue in it.
Right.
This is wavelengths that these molecules they are vibrating at a certain frequency. They pretty much the white light is able to absorb every other light wave except for blue, and then it reflects it back into your retina.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So knowing that, we know that things are not blue. They appear blue. So this idea of humans seeing hallucinations, right? That is what the world is.
That's a good point, yeah.
But what's so fascinating about this is reality are just hallucinations that we all agree on. And what's cool about this is there's like lots of TED Talks. I believe the dude's name is Anil Seth, and his TED Talk on how your brain hallucinates reality is such a cool perspective to understand as a magician.
Wow.
Because that perspective of how magicians can interact, it shifted my thought process personally about what magic is and what it should be. And I think that um, yeah, I forget the name of that TED talk, but if you type in that guy's name, it's a very very interesting talk, and it's a very very mind opening thing to be able to look at things and connect with people in a way that is just like, you know, it's almost like just science, but it's
Yeah.
like there's so many cool plots and so many cool things that can be talked about that we're discovering, you know, that we're right on the brink of, you know, with quantum computing and how, you know, the quantum level works, you know, and it's just those are the things that I think that the magician the magician archetype has been in the past at the forefront of, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Robert Houdin, he would use right before a levitation, he would put what is that? Is it ether? Like it was something that was a new medicine or gas that would put people to sleep, and it was and no one really knew about it. Just like we don't really know about AI right now.
Yeah.
So
Not
now it's like, what if people just started presenting things that are around these breakout technologies that people are a little bit unsure of, and magicians could just be these people that really inspire people's interest about space, about things that are like where humanity is going, and like the magician connecting with culture like that could be a huge move on how serious people take
I
magicians.
think the closest person I've seen do that on a mass scale is Marco Tempest. I feel like he's really kind of blended augmented reality and tech with magic. I know it's not really what you're talking about, but as far as
Yeah,
making it actually a presentable performance style.
I'm gonna say the closest person that I have seen do it is my friend Justin Sight. Justin Sight
Okay.
has such a way of scripting things about science and space, and he takes these things exactly how I'm talking about, and he does a very very cool job. Some of his videos are phenomenal, and you should definitely check him out if that's a magician you have not seen. He's
No pun intended.
yeah, he is a legally blind magician as well, and very talented, and he does visual magic, which is phenomenal. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do it, and I'm just excited myself to learn how to create at that level a high, like, so that I can weave in these things without people feeling like it's storytelling, where, you know, that's the art of performance.
That's deep. That's and I hope you guys are taking something away from this when it comes to your own magic. You know,
Let's see, he's like,
make it mean more. You know, than just a trick.
yeah, magic and technology have always gone hand in hand. It's magic kind of revealing the true state of science and technology.
Yeah.
What's your thought about tech being used in magic? Um, Tech in magic, especially phone tricks. I believe phone tricks are supposed. Mm, my opinion on phone tricks are that the best way that they're able to be used is as like a special effect in real life. So like I used to run a trick in my lecture where I would have a video of my phone glitching, and I would just do that with a in the hands change to identify the moment of when the card has changed, because we all know that a card going in the hand and a double lift and they hold on to it, phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also just sandwich it by saying, here, put the card in your hand, put the phone, and let's say you know, the app screen's open, and then you gesture and you just see the phone glitch for 2 seconds. Then the camera, if you're doing social media, gets to see a visual. The
Yeah.
person gets to feel the realness of a single card changing. And you start to understand at that point that you can play to the camera and to the live audience. And technology has actually allowed you to do that in a cleaner way. So if it's check marking those boxes, then technology and magic is great. But just doing a trick that involves a prediction on social media
Uh,
is I think it feels slightly empty to people because people need a tangible element and also a technological element for it to feel real.
It is an interesting blend of the two for sure. With technology, it's there. Everyone has phones. Everyone has this stuff, so it is fun to be able to play with it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. And I
yeah,
think that how to make it strong and understanding that people will think it's technology at first
yeah,
and starting at that baseline and then understanding where you can go from that and playing with the parameters of that is
yeah.
a fascinating thing.
So we're gonna do the giveaways for the at the table lectures. I know that we had the original guy that we liked on YouTube.
Word.
I'm gonna try to go back and find out who that was.
Um,
It was quite the name. Let me see. And then also, I'm gonna look on YouTube. You guys have you have like a couple minutes here. If you haven't gotten in, we were asking for your favorite way on how to connect with an audience. Now that's what we're actually going to use for
yeah.
the method one thing. So what do you think we should do for that then over the next week?
Hey, what merch? Saw that comment.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
there it is. Yeah.
yeah, honestly, yeah, this is what merch too.
Oh no kidding.
Yeah, I make it all. It's crazy.
Oh cool. What was the? There it is. It's this guy. So this was our winner from YouTube. So
Nah.
that's not his comment,
Oh,
but that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy. I remember the guy.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
And then I'll try to find one on Facebook too. What can they do over the next week to try to win? And I know that we've already been doing this, so people might have already been saying some certain things or doing some certain things. But to win a method one, what would you like them to do?
I would say take 10 minutes and meditate on when the last time you connected with your audience was truly. Think about the last performance
Cool.
that you connected with them. And then once you can find that performance in your head, try to just focus on what you did and how that could be applied to things that you like in the future.
And I'm just going to drop this for our friend here. Drop me an email there, and we will hook you up with the free at the table lecture download. We'll do that for you, non-existent man, even though you are existing today.
Does anyone have any questions regarding method one? Or in fact, I mean, I wasn't really going to talk about this, but yeah, I mean, for the people that aren't aware, yeah, what is my new company, and I'm gonna be releasing stuff with people and also myself under this brand. So if there's any questions about either of those things, you know, now is a good time to ask.
We need a Calen conference, yes.
Ooh.
Yes, we do.
Conference.
There was something else I was gonna. What was the other thing I was gonna mention too? Oh yes, and I was also gonna let the rest of the guys know something real quick too. That if you guys are watching and you
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. Very easy.
You were looking at the gimmick.
Huh? No, it's I could do this with my eyes shut.
No, no, not you.
Oh,
they were
yeah,
looking at the gimmick.
that is the gimmick.
That's what I
right
meant.
there. Like, yeah, like it's really silly how effective it is. Like the thing that's interesting to me about this, so this whole brand, which stands for We Are Just Travelers Traveling Through Time. It's an acronym. So it is about releasing products that are practical and not just things that you feel like you're going to perform. This is easy to get reactions with. Things that you know are ready to go. If you miss a card, you have this. This is now ready to go for an out. Like this takes up no extra space. It is effective to just put on your box and then you're ready to go. Like things that allow you to be more confident and be ready for situations. That's the kind of magic that I want to perform. So like, I feel that I want to get back to releasing things that are like ready to go in real bulletproof performances. And I know that my style has varied from so many different aspects. But for now, where I'm at is the practicality of methods are what really makes this killer for me. Like it's
Mark was asking for the prices, $29.95. Mark wanted to
yeah
throw that out there. It's not bad. And can I see it real quick?
yeah
Damn, dude, that is brilliant. Yeah, I could see how someone could hold this and they would never know. There it is.
yeah. It's amazing because
That's
the
great.
psychology
It's great.
of this of being able to hold it openly in your hand and be able to have them name, and then on the question of saying, can you grab your phone, I locate the first, and then as they say, turn on the flashlight, I locate the suit, and nothing of the orientation is changing, and I could do this right in their face. So it just becomes a very, very fresh thing because then I just put it in there. Like this to me closes all logic boxes, so you put your spectator in a loop that they cannot get out of, and they will not be able to remove themselves to get to the method. They're just as if you hit the correct performance beats, it I believe it's a very very impressive thing to show someone. And the interesting thing about a blister effects have come and gone. I used to perform them 10 years ago in high school, but just like anything involving trends and things, there's cycles. And now I believe, through what I've analyzed, it's a very effective thing to show people in pop culture right now. And I think that from you can see the reactions in the video, and I do this for real people, and they like it, and it's so easy compared to some of the effort that I have to put into other effects that require a more intense psychology, and this uses some very basic psychology, so it's uh it's very good, I believe.
Yeah, you can see people freaking, and there you are in your own world. Love
Yeah.
it.
What is reality?
Yeah, true that. There we go. Nice look at the trailer. And again, Calen did say it earlier, and do yourself a favor, watch it with the volume up too, so you can kind of experience the whole thing, for sure. Um, I was looking to see if we also had um, any. I wanted to find a Facebook winner real quick too before we get out of here. And I was also going to tell you guys, all of you, if you want something free today, I just got news of this today to remind you guys of this. You can get 5 free tricks today, and all you need to do is, that is not the email address. You want to go to the murphysmagic.com/gift. That's our gift to you guys today, 5 free tricks from Gregory Wilson. If you haven't yet signed up for that, you get 1 a day. They're digital downloads. So if you don't win Calen stuff today, we are going to hook you up with something for free. So do that. 5 free tricks from Gregory Wilson right there.
Can I answer one more thing real quick?
Dude,
here?
this is your show. You
Oh,
do
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you want to do.
So Mark is like, Calen, where do you start creating a new trick?
There we go.
That has started at many different places, but lately I feel like I've found a place to start that is very effective. And it's to start with a psychology principle or a true optical illusion. Either one of those things you will not go wrong with.
Let's see. I was looking for another great thinker, Garrett Thomas, has a lot of good thinking about connecting with people. And
Very
stuff
big
like
Garrett
that.
Thomas fan.
Yeah.
His magic is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's a very nice human.
I think we're gonna hook up Satama with this. I'm gonna bring this message down because he really goes into the deep details. Trying to bring it down, not up. There we go. Let me bring you over here and space that out and make it a little bit bigger there. So he's talking about Garrett Thomas connecting with audiences, elevating performance as a performer. When we magicians perform for the spectators, they have their own beliefs of whether magic is real or not. In fact, it's like a rainbow appearing in the skies. We never really know if the rainbow exists, but when we see it, it's kind of like magic. I'm here to create an experience for you, to see the rainbow and to bring you an experience. So yeah, it's creating the moment, creating the wonder, creating the what if, creating all.
Yeah, the rainbow technically is
That's what we were talking about earlier with the color. Yeah,
it's fascinating, but if it takes place in your mind and you can enjoy it, then maybe it is real to them.
Yep, Well said. So those are our two winners today. So Satama dropped me a DM on Facebook if you haven't yet. We'll get you.
All right, let's get this out in the open. It says, "Can the gimmick be used on any card box?" Okay.
Let me bring that up.
Yes, it can be. And hold up.
Yeah, because people see the tally-ho and go, I don't use tally-ho.
We gotta like get this out there. Like, the reason why this is so effective is because it's like the design of how I designed this utility goes on anything. Like, you actually just take it and it blends in to the box, and it's gone, like with any basic design. So that utility aspect of it, I am sure you guys can understand how useful that is, to just move it from box to box, put it on any notebook, any type of back of phone case, any type of thing that has a slight design to it or is clear. It's like, let's go.
Yep. I'm glad you said that, because when I was holding it up earlier, I'm thinking, do they think it's only tally-hos?
Yeah, so, like that's the real breakthrough that I had with that, is the material that I used to have it manufactured in.
And I will say, again, I know you guys might have seen these pictures before. I've been showing them a couple times here, but you can see here the detail of the blister. Look how good that looks too. That's a really clean looking impression.
I actually really for the video, I wanted to make sure people understand it can be very, very clear, because every single digit and pip was custom designed to be the perfect size for the average size of a fingertip. So like everything was taken into account, and the spacing of how far apart the numbers are, so that you can feel the register of the next thing, because you're doing it blind. You're doing a tactile index, which is what makes it an open index, and it allows you to do it right in front of their face. So it becomes a thing, man.
Oh, here's Casey again.
Yeah.
Oh, let me resize that. Woof, that's a little big there. Let me resize you there, and let's see what he's got to say. A tiny tip for people wanting to connect with more of their audience: look them more in the eyes. Yeah, the eyes are window to the soul. Be intentional with your speech and be intentional in your listening. We aren't just there to show them something cool and leave. We're there to establish a connection. And if you did it right, you'll also remember them as a spectator. That's a good way to look at it too. Remembering the people you
I agree with that a lot. I believe that the simple way of saying that is to be present, and to just like when you're really present, with friends and wanting to like know about, what they've been up to and stuff, doing that with a stranger is a very special thing to give someone, and giving them full undivided attention, and removing all of what you have to do later on in your day, what you're thinking about, the methods, the things that you need to accomplish in the next 2 minutes to fool them, like forgetting about that and focusing on this human. It's all similar and all intertwined, and all very important.
Absolutely. People say, we got to get you on a TED Talk. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Any last things you wanted to say on the way out here? We're over the hour mark. I told you half an hour. We've doubled that. So, and going on a little more. Any last thoughts? Any last things you want to say? Or
let's say
so we covered a lot.
Yeah,
we did. I guess we just have to come back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just I would say the takeaway would be strive for awareness in method, performing, and just all aspects of being a magician, because I believe focus on that will let people as a whole take magicians more serious, as a force to be reckoned with in culture.
Well said. Yeah, I think a lot of people are they're trivializing magic with social media now, which is something I'm not going to sit here and hate on social media, but I see it used now in such a light-hearted, like, I don't know, man. It just seems like people are using it now instead of actually respecting it and giving it the attention, and making it something people should respect, instead of something people just go, oh my God, wow. Like,
what's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna try and unpack that thought for a second. That's a very interesting thing. What's cool about that though is that it all needs to happen to have each side. Like there has to be a good and evil. There like for like everything feeds off of each other. There has to be opposing ends.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is I think the people that really influence culture and magic, they have to create their own mindset and their own perspective on stuff. And I
Okay.
think maybe that's what you disconnect with is when you see people sharing the same perspective of magic.
That's true.
and
That's a good point. Yeah.
and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that, to create a perspective and create an outlook of what you think about what it is to be a magician, how a magician acts, what a magician does, how they talk, how they think, how they like what objects they use. Those things take time and take thought, you know, deliberate time to just think about and to sit down and like just sit in your own thoughts and come to conclusions. And
That's true.
that's a that can be a very scary thing to like dive into your thoughts like that. So I think that's kind of why it doesn't happen too often.
There's a guy Ray Loom. Calen's a genius. You know Ray, right?
Hey, what's up, Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a
Yeah.
great builder,
Yeah.
smart guy.
He's here in Vegas, right?
He is.
Yeah, I thought so. Can't wait to get your effect. Yeah, congrats to Satama. Congrats, man. Drop me a DM on the Murphy's page and we'll get you that download, okay? Johnny B says, man, I got to work on these overlays, dude.
Yeah, no, people can see it. It's good. Yeah.
Seeing the gimmick here exposed for us made me want to buy it. More creators should just show what you're buying, I think. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, well, guess what? The on the What YouTube channel, the method and the demo and the tutorial are actually up because um, I only did this because it is a very specific designed object
Sure.
that you cannot make yourself. So I do agree with his thinking that if you want to know what you're buying before you buy it, go check it out. But just respect the idea, and if you're gonna do it, buy it, which you kind of have to unless you're trying to like take an X-Acto knife to some really crappy plastic. But like this thing's like I spent a lot of time on the simplicity of this design, and it's very effective.
And just in general, respect the art, respect the people creating the art that you guys can use. I think that's a very understated thing. I know that something you and I talked about before was, people using the magic we create on social media. We're the ones kind of left high and dry. Like they're using the stuff and getting the attention, but we're the ones behind the scenes creating the stuff. And that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes as a creator. And I know that we talked about that, like it's been over a year ago, but
it can be, I guess. Yeah. I guess there's a hold up. I'm gonna pull something up, a photo, just because this is it's kind of very connected to what you're saying.
I mean, I can't imagine the amount of time it takes him to work on just one idea before releasing it. I know same could be said for myself and other people. Stuff doesn't just happen by itself. So don't forget to respect that part of it. People look at the price tag and go, why does it cost that? Well, how long did it take to create it? How many years sometimes, or hours, or months, or it doesn't just happen.
I truly believe that anything I release, I either want to inspire a thinking for other people to create, or I want to add something that can add value to people's performances. One of those two things. So I think it's very clear on the types of effect. Like this one, you can see by the reactions in the trailer that this is a very practical thing. But what you were saying about the creating, as far as like creators feeling like sometimes you're left high and dry.
Yeah.
There's this saying that goes like this: being mindful of what needs within yourself are being triggered, and focusing on what needs or thoughts or feelings or behavior you need to align with who you are. So I guess what that means to me is that as a creator, you have to be very honest with yourself if you're okay being behind the scenes and you're okay just giving art to other people. And if you're not, be honest with yourself
Yeah.
and then start working on that other side, which it takes to perform, which is difficult. And
And I'm
as for myself too, I
I'm
I fully understand how difficult that is. But
yeah.
when I feel that restlessness comes from not being honest with what your goals are truly deep down inside your soul,
Yeah.
and you're not aligning with that. So
Yeah.
it becomes something that you.
But I'm bringing it up because it's something you said to me.
Right,
It
right.
wasn't me. It was
Of
you came to
course.
me, and we
Yeah.
had this discussion about that feeling, and it was something that we were both.
I would say it's probably because I probably wasn't
Yeah.
living my truth at that point of
Yeah,
like where
it's
I'm.
been a while. Yeah,
Um,
but we had that very.
it's still difficult for me though because
Yeah.
yeah, even this year, stuff has happened like that, and I have
Yeah.
to check myself to be like,
Yeah.
am I okay with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
But
But
it's a life of a creator, huh?
it is, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why I want to talk about some of the. We've talked way too long now, but I want to talk about some of the stuff because it is true that the guys doing the stuff that Calen does and the stuff the other guys are doing out there, it's work. It is hard work, and don't just discount it because it's just a trick that you're holding, the gimmick, and go, oh, okay, that's cool, but there's so much more that goes into this stuff, and
I think the only thing that I actually dislike about when certain people perform things that are done by other people is when they leave it so gray and they leave the area of where the ideas come from, and they say things that are ambiguous. It can be taken both ways.
sure,
So they're not outright taking credit for it, but they're saying things that leads an average person to come to the conclusion that it's theirs.
sure,
And that is a very, very sly thing to do that doesn't, do anything for the magic community.
taking credit for something that's not theirs, yeah, that doesn't help anybody,
But yeah, it's a process, because it happens.
I'm just gonna wrap up the poll real quick
Word.
before we get out of here. I had a poll running earlier. We did a little meme action. This was the meme we did. We're gonna do the meme of the week now. This was it. Argument, playing cards, decks of cards. I was running this on our Twitter page. I'll show you the Twitter one more time. I'll bring this up. Wanted you guys to tell me. I'm gonna refresh it one more time. We'll have a poll every week now, so make sure you're keeping up with us over on Twitter. It's Twitter. And there it is. It's unanimous. 63% call it a deck of cards. 36% call it a
facts.
Some playing cards. So for what it's worth,
that's good to know. Actually, it's always interesting to get
for what it's worth.
Large opinions on stuff.
Next week we might try a poll over on Instagram. So we'll just keep mixing it up and doing all that fun stuff. So, thank you, my brother.
Yo, thank you for having me, Luke, and thank you for everyone tuning in. I really appreciate you you listening, and thank you.
This has been awesome stuff, and definitely check out Method 1 if you haven't yet. We gave you all we got with it. He even gave you a quick peek of it. I'll bring it up one more time. There's the blister. You can get a nice clean look at that. And here is a look at the packaging, a little marketing, and here is Calen showing you the gimmick. He's showing you the damn thing.
We don't know.
Oh, there's Jesse Feinberg. What's up, Jesse?
What's good, Jesse?
Yeah, Duke Lancy. Man, shame, man. Yes, and a quick heads up, guys, too. I want to let you know something, too. Next Tuesday, I'm full of special guests. I've got this guy also from Las Vegas. I had Calen with me today. Next week on Tuesday, I've got Matt Franco with me. So he won't be next to me like Calen, but he'll be next to me on the screen. Matt Franco from the Las Vegas Strip. He's got his own show. He was the first magician to win America's Got Talent. He'll be with me live next Tuesday right here, noon Pacific.
Dope.
That'll be fun. And then the week after that, on the 21st, I've got Shin Lim.
Wow, banger lineup.
So
where do I fit in?
I'm doing my best to bring you guys good people. So Calen Morelli, Matt Franco, Shin Lim, and on and on and on. And then we'll be a Blackpool, and hopefully you will get yourself to Blackpool too. We'll have to make that happen. That'll be cool. That'd be good. All right. So thank you guys for the all the great questions today, feedback, support. Congrats to our winners. And again, if they want to win Method 1, they have to do what again? They got to tell us about their favorite time they connected with an audience. Is that what it is? When they,
Yeah, just like
yeah,
what are ways that they feel are really great about connecting with like an audience,
okay,
maybe for
cool,
themselves, maybe things that they've seen, just like
cool.
kind of focusing on that connection.
All right, it's all about connecting, and we have connected with you guys today. We got you unplugged with Calen Morelli, and we will catch you on the flip side. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the live stuff that we do. All right, my friends, we will catch you next time. See ya.